What is going on, you guys, and welcome to a Forza Horizon 4 video. This will be my first video on this topic, and I would like to start a new series called My Top 5 Blank Cars from this country. So, I'm gonna do loads of different runs. So, in this episode, I will be doing German cars because, it's a great way to start off, and it's just a good country for cars, in my opinion. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So starting off this list, we have the wonderful Mercedes G-Wagon, specifically the G63 model, because it is basically just the C63 upscaled into the big old style of SUV. It brings it back to basics like how it used to be. It is just a mammoth of sheer power. Like in the era of downsizing, this is a good car to have. It still has that powerful V8, but the one shown in the clip now is a V12 bi-turbo. So yeah, it's pushing around 580 horsepower with a solid figure of torque at 850 newton meters. It reaches 0 to 60 at 4.4 seconds. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, I can't say much about this car. It is wonderful. Moving on to number 4. Coming in at number 4, we have the BMW 2002 Turbo. This little car is one of BMW's greatest achievements of that time. It was released just before the big oil crisis in 1973, so it was just hard to get fuel back then. And this was BMW's first ever production turbocharged car. Scrap that. The first ever production car with a turbocharger, pushing 170 horsepower from the already powerful 130 horsepower base where it came from. The only car which could beat it in that time was the Porsche Carrera, which had 210 horsepower at that time. That was so much in those days. It reached 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. That was insane. Honestly, it was so hard to get that figure in that time, and it carried on going until it reached 130 miles per hour. So yeah, it's one of the greatest cars BMW has ever released, and not the absolute bullshit which they are releasing at the moment with the massive grills. BMW, what are you playing at? Anyway, moving on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This car is one of the best cars Porsche has ever released in terms of performance. This car has a astonishing 520 horsepower with that 4-liter flat 6 which it has, with a torque figure of around 411 newton meters of torque. So yeah, it pushed well, and it can show because of its Nürburgring lap record. It reached a lap time of 6 minutes 56 seconds point 4, which is the 7th fastest ever production car to go around it. It has a 0 to 60 speed of 3 seconds, 3 seconds dead, and a top speed of 193 miles per hour. With that 7-speed dual clutch gearbox, it is a monster on the track, and yeah, this is why it is in the top 3. Moving on to number 2. Coming in at number 2, we have the B5 Audi RS4. Yes, I did it. It is just my favorite car, but I had to give it the number 2 spot because there's obviously that one car which is ahead of it, which you will find out in a second. But it's one of my favorites because it is a wagon. It's so practical and it has so much power stock. It's a V6 twin, which is a 2.7 liter, and it's got a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds. Like, Audi, you have really outdone yourself with this car. Even though it was produced in 2001, I reckon a lot of people would still prefer this over some modern cars in this day and age. Like, it's got a quarter mile time of 13.5 seconds, and with that, move it on to number 1. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have the legendary Audi Quattro S1, the record breaker. Out of its 5 years being in the World Rally Championship, it won 4 titles. 4 world titles. But if you look at the specs of it, you won't be surprised why it's won so many. It has a straight 5, pushing 540 horsepower and 590 newton meters of torque. So that power is just instant. And for Audi to get that out of a straight 5, which is only 2.1 liters, it is insane. This is such a rally legend, and a lot of people would agree for this to be one of the greatest cars to come out of Germany. Like, yeah, you could dispute like a Porsche 911, the old ones are one of the greatest, but this is my number one choice. So yeah, thank you very so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys like this new series, because I want to continue making this and making this into like a weekly, maybe even a daily thing. Maybe not daily because you don't have so many countries, but yeah, it is one of the greatest cars in my opinion, and I hope you enjoyed. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, subscribe, and peace.